My wife's sister, 43F, wanted my wife, 40F, to be her surrogate mother, but I did not. So about a decade ago, my 39 meters wife's 40F sister, 43F, had reached out and asked if she would be a surrogate. My Sil and her then husband could not physically, which ultimately led to a terrible divorce a few years prior to her asking my wife. Anyway, my wife agreed before speaking to me. When she did ask me, she told Sil she'd consider it after speaking with me. But a few months later I found out she told Sil yes, but would instead tell me that she was going through with it because they're family. I don't want kids, and neither does my wife. It was something we both had a hard no about from the beginning. I'm pretty sure we even had a conversation about surrogacy even then, and we both agreed no. The reason I remember this is because she knew of a woman who did it 3 times for 2 families. Privately for money, and I just remember her saying, they couldn't pay me enough. When she asked me, after giving me a long explanation of why she wanted to do this, I told her I would support her decision to help her sister, but that I would have to ask for a divorce. She was shocked. I told her that although it is her body and her choice, it was something I didn't want to be a part of. That her surrogacy is still something she'd be at home with, and a responsibility that would still be forcing me into that I clearly did not want to be involved with, in my opinion. She and her sister had already basically planned it out. The sister would pay for everything. More specifically, of course. And I wouldn't have to worry about anything. I told her I disagreed. She is my wife, and for 9 months her body would undergo a change that could come with serious complications that involved life of another human being, to which I'd have no legal or biological rights to, of course. She was upset but understood, and I overheard her tell her sister that she can't go through with it because husband said so, and they said they'd revisit it in 6 months. I was appalled, and when I found this out later I asked for a separation or couples counseling, being that she clearly disregarded me and saw it as a solo decision. We did counseling, and turns out there was a lot that needed to be worked on. May not be as surprising to you reading this now, but it was to me at the time then. We did therapy for about a year together and discovered individual therapy within that to help with some of the challenges I faced with not only our relationship but my other relationships in my life. Everything has improved significantly. Not perfect, but I'm satisfied. During this time, Sil found someone through a program online, and we have a niece. She was over for dinner the other night, and she kept going on about this program, which wasn't out of the blue, considering she'd been talking about wanting another child. I got curious. Turns out just a few weeks ago, we received an email from an online surrogacy program within our shared account claiming her application was denied. It was deleted, of course. When I asked her about it, she said it was a scam and not worry. I asked her if she had applied anywhere recently or if Sil had reached out again, and she said no. Well, it's not a scam because I pressed into it and they have an application on file from this past year that she filled out. I'm just not sure where to go from here. Not only is she lying, but she clearly wants to have her cake and eat it too. Reasonably, with it being something she's downplaying on wanting to be a surrogate, and it being a hard no for me. Is this worth doing therapy for again? How do I approach this? TL. Doctor, my wife's sister asked her to be a surrogate a decade ago. I was against it. No surrogacy or divorce. It caused issues. She didn't go through with it, and we did therapy. I found an application she filled out from this past year for a surrogacy program. Edit. Sorry. The serious complications include her age and risks that come along with having a child at 43. I'm reading comments that read this post with a mentality that I'm trying to control. Just want to be clear about the agreements, commitments made prior to our marriage. How a decision was made without having a conversation with your spouse first, and then my wanting of care for my wife going through a pregnancy now. Hope that helps. The application was denied because a responsible doctor or surrogacy program isn't going to approve someone to be a surrogate who's never been pregnant before, especially someone who's old enough that a pregnancy will automatically come with multiple risks another candidate wouldn't have. So not only is your wife apparently risking your marriage over something she knows darn well is a deal breaker and lying about it, she's doing it in pursuit of a goal that's not even wise or realistic. I don't think there is anywhere else for you to take that other than back to counseling or a lawyer. There's no way your wife would be approved at her age. She's not thinking logically about being a surrogate, which makes me assume it's an irrational personal want. Does she regret not having kids? Does she just feel old and wanted to prove she wasn't? Who knows, but you need to ask her why. Could be a small stupid thing she did on a whim or a deeper issue. She needs therapy again to get to the bottom about why she lied and crossed a boundary for this. No clinic will accept a surrogate without having at least one child before. You don't want children, so your boundary is reasonable. I think you did great, making your position clear from the ground up. Now, the current situation is strange. Why would your wife pursue such applications when it is obviously not STH she can hide? Could it be that your wife has changed her mind regarding not having children? Your wife is going behind your back on many occasions and lying to your face to deceive you. You have tried to give her the benefit of the doubt, but she's still being sly. I think you need to leave because you only found this out by accident. What else clues she hide? NTA. I think the bigger problem in your relationship is that you went from a 29-year-old woman to a 39-year-old man in a month. Almost like this is some kind of misogynist troll account or something. https www.reddit.com/r/bowling/s/a79weebigatevr. I'm just not sure where to go from here. Yes, you are. You should have done it when you separated the first time. Now, because of your past responses to her deceit, she believes you'll calm down and go back to her like nothing happened. 2 red flags medically, even before relationship-wise. Your wife never had a successful pregnancy, and also her age is a red flag. Next, she doesn't understand that while she will be pregnant, you will still have to take care of her. I think it was completely reasonable that you did not want your wife to be a surrogate. You both do not want children. So it is ridiculous to expect a woman that doesn't even want children and has never had a child to be a surrogate. Usually to be a surrogate you have to have had children before. Plus, like you said, you would have had to deal with everything while she was pregnant, and if there were any complications afterwards. Women can literally die from pregnancy or have horrible complications. I'm not surprised by some of the comments on here because of how red it is, but you made your boundaries quite clear and she still tried to go behind your back. It's even worse now because of her age. It is extremely dangerous and anything could happen. What if the child is born with disabilities and the sister doesn't want to take the child? I've heard of crazy cases where the surrogate is basically stuck with a child unless they put them in foster care. But you need to think about your future and the type of person you want to be with, because she lied to you and did this behind your back. She has lied to you repeatedly. I could never trust her again. You tried therapy and that didn't work. I would divorce your wife now. Because after almost ending your marriage and having to go to counseling for a year, she again decides to do it behind your back and lie about it. I wouldn't want my husband to father another child for some couple that wanted one. Because it is a human life and humans are imperfect. There could be moral and emotional implications even if not legal. I actually agree with you. It is her body. But it is your marriage too. Your wife has proven time and again that she is a liar. Why keep forgiving this? Divorce her and move on with someone you can trust. Game over, op. You made it clear. She persisted. As far as I know, you can't be a surrogate anyway if you haven't already had a child. Woman shrugging, light skin tone. I put myself in your shoes and sat down with my husband and told him what would he do if this were him and I'm going to tell you exactly what he said. I married you for more than loving you. I married you because we talked about everything big and small, so I knew from day one I could always trust you. I trusted that you would never make a major life decision that could affect me on your own. Of course, there may come a time where we aren't on the same page and go to counseling for a year. Things look up and we are happily moving through life again, and then I find the same issue with trust came up again. No, I wouldn't put myself through counseling again because we did that for a year. You knew my boundaries and I knew yours, yet you crossed it again. I had already learned to trust you again, and now I have to go back and try again for the same issue? No. You showed me I was wrong in trusting you again, so I would file for divorce. I am 100% with my husband on that if the roles were reversed. This would be my response as well. Almost a decade together, and what your wife did, I would never even think to do that to my husband. What bothered me the most about what your wife did the first time was the phone call with her sister about the 6 months. Wow. Just wow. That, to me, showed me you both are not a team, because my response would have been, my husband and I talked and agreed we could not go through with that. Good luck, op. This is a complex and sensitive situation. It's clear that communication and trust are significant issues in your relationship. Here are some steps to consider. 1. Open and honest communication. Sit down with your wife to discuss the recent discovery calmly and openly. Express how you feel about the situation, and ask her to be honest about her intentions and desires regarding surrogacy. 2. Therapy. Considering the history of successful couples therapy, it might be beneficial to revisit therapy. A therapist can help both of you explore your feelings, motivations, and concerns regarding this issue and your relationship. 3. Boundary setting. Clearly define your boundaries and expectations within the relationship. It's important to find a middle ground that respects both of your wishes. 4. Trust rebuilding. If your wife has been dishonest, rebuilding trust will be crucial. Discuss how you both can work on rebuilding trust in your relationship. 5. Consider legal advice. If surrogacy is something your wife is seriously considering, it may be a good idea to consult with a legal professional to understand the potential legal implications and your rights in this situation. 6. Evaluate your relationship. Take time to assess whether this situation reflects deeper issues within your relationship and if both of you are truly compatible in the long run. Remember, these are challenging decisions and emotions to navigate. A therapist can provide guidance specific to your situation, so consider involving a professional to help you work through these issues. No surrogacy program is going to accept a 43-year-old who's never even been pregnant. This would be a marriage ender for me. She's gone behind your back on this issue multiple times and lied to your face about it. The first time you could at least say it was for the love of her sister. But now there's absolutely no excuse. People have a right to change their minds. You have a right not to change yours. She's gonna be denied because of her age and never giving birth. Does she regret not having kids? What is the reasoning behind this? Time to go back to therapy. And she lied to you about it. Yeah, no one was going to accept her. If she was really going to be the surrogate, she'd have to get pregnant the old-fashioned way and birth them a half-child. But moving on from that topic, your wife does not respect you. She is willing to lie to your face and waste God knows how much therapy because she would rather do what she wants to than consider what is important to you. What else is she doing behind your back? If she lies about something this large, then what else is she hiding?
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Haircast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.